let's see what we are going to do now. We already have REST API for customer. We already have this one. Now what we are going to do is create the Spring Boot MVC project, which is going to provide the front end, JSP front end, and then from that we are going to call the REST API. So in a single project, if you have a controller, if you have a JSP, you know how to work. You can have post or get form method equal to get form method equal to post. All these things you will be able to do that. But here it is beyond that. Beyond get and post, we have put and delete also, isn't it? So form method equal to put is not there. Form method equal to delete is not there. Only get and post is there. So how can we call that put and delete? So we need to, the solution is we need to transform that REST API into what we call it as auto wired controller. So that means we are going to transform it into an interface. The implementation is present in the REST API, and this interface can be auto wired in our MVC project. So in MVC project, we are going to get a proxy of the REST API, an interface. So when you call the methods of the interface, it will directly call the REST API methods. That's what we are going to do. And there are multiple ways we can do that. One of the technique is Feign Client we are going to learn today. So Feign Client, that means we need to add some dependencies in form.xml. Let me create one Spring Boot project. File, new. In one Eclipse or one STS, you can create multiple projects running simultaneously but in different port numbers. That is possible. Initially, when I was learning, I was opening multiple instances of Eclipse. In one Eclipse, I will be running this REST API. In another one, I will be running MVC. In multiple Eclipse, multiple REST API will be running. But that's not necessary because every REST API or project is running in different port number. We can run them simultaneously here as well. So we are creating a MVC project, right? Spring Starter project. What will be the name of this project? We can name it as Customer MVC. Is that fine? Customer MVC is the name of the project. This is var because there is a JSP front end. It's a web component, right? So if it is a REST API, jar is enough. This is a var and other things I'm not changing. Next, definitely we need a web. I am not using JPA here because the database connectivity part and all REST API will take care. Am I right? So I'm not going to use Oracle driver also. I'm not going to use JPA. This is going to be calling the REST API to store data, retrieve data, update data in the database. Fine now? So I'm going to add Feign Client, open Feign. So Feign Client help me to access REST API from this project. And see the status bar, bottom right corner, 26, 79, no, still 26. Once the project is created, you go to form.xml and check the dependencies. I have a set of dependencies for Feign. So still in 26%. I should be getting this dependency. Open Feign. 66%. 79. Yesterday from 26 to 79, it was very fast. 50% done. Once it is done, let's go to the form.xml, check the dependencies, open Feign, exactly same. So no issues, fine, close all other things. What I'm going to do now, open Feign is there, right? We have to enable it. We have to enable Feign clients. So let's go to our application.properties. Why I'm going to application.properties? Here we have this annotation. No, this includes configuration also. We don't need to create another configuration class unnecessarily. For some other configuration purpose, if you, for example, you have a Spring security, you will have to create a class with annotation called configuration annotation. There we can enable. But here, if you put the mouse on this one, this is also a configuration. So here I can enable Feign client. It will not come so quickly. After a couple of times you use control space and all, it will come. Enable Feign clients. So step, we will note the steps. Number 1, add open Feign dependency. This is number 1, control C, control V. Number 2, in application class or in any configuration class, you need to enable Feign clients. How to do that? This is how. So for any doubts, number 3, we need to create an interface that represents the controller, REST controller. So let's go for our previous project called customer service. Look at this controller. This controller have these methods and all, no? So we need to create an interface. So if you have a class, to extract an interface from the class is easy, no? Right click, refactor, extract interface. And what are the methods you want to have that? All the CRUD methods only, right? So this is for get, post, put, delete. What is the name of the interface you want to have? Customer API. Can we name it as like that? Customer API. So this is just for creating an interface. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this code and paste it here. So create an interface. Create an interface that contains only the declaration of controller methods, REST controller methods, which we can type also. Normally we will type only, okay, but this looks easy. After you copy this code, better you do one thing, delete it. This is unnecessary, no? Just delete it. And all these override methods, override and all, we need to remove. I have just undo. Whatever. So I have reverted back. I generated the interface just for that skeleton, okay, prototype only, and undo that. So no changes are done in our customer service. Close it. But we got this one, right? So we got this interface code. This in our MVC project, I'm going to right click the base package and create a new interface. And I'm going to name it as customer API. So it's a REST API. Done. Any doubts? Now customer class definition also is required. So we may copy that also here. Customer. But when you copy customer, it will come with entity annotation also, right? So go to paste it, go to customer, the model package, it should be, right? Model package, control 1 to move it to the folder. Next thing, these annotations are not necessary. The customer class we have in our MVC project is just for a data type, for a type definition, that's all. It's not entity annotation, all these things. We are not going to do database programming here. Okay, just a customer class. So here Control Shift O for imports. Choose the correct package, save the file, problem solved. Up to this, any doubts? So we have created a, this is already there, no? Now we need to put one annotation here. In that annotation, we are going to specify the URL. Where is the REST API? The REST API URL, we have already copied it here now. REST API URL is here. Correct. So I'm going to do that now. So go to the interface and put this annotation. It's going to be a Feign Client annotation, and the annotation is going to specify the URL is equal to a string. Are you able to understand what I'm doing here? This interface has a link with what? A REST API whose URL is given. And these annotations are also required. Get mapping, am I right? Get mapping. Find also is get mapping, but with ID, right? We need to specify that. Should I mention this path variable annotation also? Normally when I generated, I actually copied. Last time when I was doing what I did, I have copied the entire code and put a semicolon instead of the body. That's what I have done. That would have been very easier if I have to type all these things, right? So path variable ID. Add means host mapping. Request body. This time I am typing this because I extracted this. Last time I copied the controller code and pasted it and removed the content of the method and put semicolon. And update means put mapping and delete mapping by ID. Done. So this annotation is a kind of component that you can auto wear it. Okay. So this is an MVC project. All of you remember the steps for MVC project. MVC project steps. Right from in dependency in pom.xml, we need to add Apache, am I right? Apache Tomcat. Second step, we need to create the folders, right? Folders for JSP file. And the third step in application.properties, correct? We need to specify prefix and suffix. And port number also, different port number. Then we need to have a controller, right? Controller, not REST controller, controller. And then JSP should have form, bootstrap, all these things we will be doing. Let's go by step number 1, form.xml. So let's go to form.xml in MVC project. Dependency, group ID, org, Apache, Tomcat, embed. Group ID will have dot. Artifact ID will have hyphen. Tomcat, embed, Jasper. First step is done. Second one, create the folders. src main web app. Right click, new folder. WebInf JSP or views, right? Views. I'm going to have one customer JSP file for demo for CRUD operation. So I can name it as customer.jsp. Okay. Third step, application.properties. Spring MVC view prefix. WebInf /views / at the end. JSP and port number server.port 8081 is already in use, 8082. That's all. Now let's go for controller. Before I go for controller, I'm going to create JSP coding for form, text box, all these things. We might use Bootstrap here. So let's go for Bootstrap CDN. Any version of Bootstrap is fine. So Bootstrap is there. So why not we take this structure also, no? This is easy. Okay, and to run hello world itself, we need a controller. Okay, right click the base package and create a controller class. Sub package name is controller and it is a customer controller. This is MVC project, so very controller only. What I am going to return is a customer, means customer.jsp. This is going to have a get mapping home. So how to run this program? Go to application, control F11. Run as Java application. Value, either name value, Feign Client. Okay. So I have not given the name. I have given only the URL. So let's go for our API. Name is equal to customer API. Now you can selectively run or restart or stop the projects running. There are two projects running. Our customer service REST API has no issues. We don't need to restart it. We can restart only customer MVC application. Port number 8082. I am going to check localhost 8082. So this is our JSP page. Now we are going to put the form here in JSP. Form. The form should have ID, name, phone, email. ID, name, phone, email. So this is going to be a Spring form, means I have to use Spring JSTL. Okay. Anyway, later we'll do that. Input type equal to text or number. Name is equal to ID. Bootstrap class. Input type equal to text, email. ID, name, phone, email. Okay. Restart only the MVC project. And what are the buttons we will have? Input type equal to submit, value is equal to add, class equal to btn, btn success. Okay, success warning. One is add, then update and delete. And every button can have a different name. Name is equal to add. This name we will use it in our controller using params, request mapping params, which button we are clicking. Name update. Based on which button is pressed, a different controller method can be called. Done. So we have refreshed. Okay. So we got this form and form action, all these things we are going to do now. In controller there should be method, then only we can say action equal to, right? So what I'm going to do now, this is what Feign Client is about. We have an API interface now, we are going to auto-wire it here. Private customer API, any name, start form also, and put auto-wire. That means there's an interface only in this project. The implementation is present somewhere as a REST API, which is auto-wired by Feign Client. Now, we are going to create methods for add, update, and delete, which is going to be post mapping. Okay, in MVC, all DML operations you do in post mapping. Add customer, right? Request mapping / customer. And we are going to have a customer object, control space to import package customer. Now listen here, request mapping is by default get mapping if you don't mention the method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to elaborate. Value is equal to the URL, comma, method is equal to post, comma, params equal to add. That means the button name is add. There are 3 submit buttons in a form. How, when I click a specific button, a specific method can be called params. I'm going to have 3 methods with same request mapping where params only will be different. Params equal to add, params equal to update, params equal to delete. Understand the point? Now copy the method, paste it 3 times. In Java, method name must be definitely different or overloading signature will be different. Modify customer, delete customer, or remove customer. Look at these 3 methods for 3 buttons. Same value, means form action equal to 1 value only will be there. Now form action equal to customer. Post only, URL same, but button is different. Add, update, delete. So based on that, what I am going to do, I am going to use this API to do that, customer API, right? So CA dot add customer of customer. Similarly, CA dot update customer. CA dot remove customer by ID. That means customer dot get ID. Done. In MVC project, the method returns not any content. The method returns either a view or model and view, isn't it? So I'm going back to the same page after adding or updating or deleting. I'm going back to the same page. So what I will do, I'll return. What is the page name? Customer.jsp, no? So it should be return customer. So I'm going to put the same here. We can also use model and view if it contains view name also, content also, right? I'll come to that later. Now I'm going to test whether this add, update, delete is working fine or not. Restart the MVC project now. Now go and refresh the screen, and I'm going to add a new customer. Customer 1 is there, customer 3 is there. I'm going to add new customer. ID is auto generated, so I'm not going to give ID. Name Dheeraj, D R A J, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Dheeraj@india.com. Add. I have not given form action equal to, isn't it? So let's go for JSP file. Form action is missing. Method equal to post. Action equal to customer. Isn't it? Now restart, because in controller customer is the URL. I have restarted both, I think. When I press restart button, server also restarted. Anyway, server restart has no issues. This also I can refresh. If I press enter, it will be added, but I am going to show you by refreshing the screen and enter the details. Add. After adding, it is coming back to the same page. Now go and refresh the REST API. Add is successful. Now let's update. ID is 5. Let's go for ID 5, and the phone number is now changed. Okay, dheeraj@gmail.com. Update. Now go and refresh. Can you see the phone number and email are changed? Update is working fine. I'm going to remove Raja now. So press ID 1 only and click delete button. Now go and refresh. So we are able to check update, delete, insert, both are working fine. Select only pending. Get all and get by ID. So for get all, you can display all the customers as a tabular format here, no? So I'm going to do that. Go to the JSP file, create one more row. So this is first row. I'm going to create a second row. Okay, this is second row. Second row need not be same width, so I can have more space in the middle column and less in the first and third column. Here I'm going to display a table. This table bootstrap classes, all of you know. Table, correct? Table icon stripe, table icon our ID, name, phone, email. Okay. And then we will have a T body. T body can have a for loop of rows. So I need JSTL. So go to pom.xml and add JSTL dependency. So where we can take the JSTL. So you can also go to mvnrepository.com and search for that. JSTL is done. Now in JSP, we need to include JSTL by using tag lib directive. What is the URI for JSTL? java.sun.com/JSP JSTL core. Prefix equal to C. Now if this URL is not correct, it will show you an underline, right? Fine. Now I need a for loop here. C:, for each First of all, whenever you use core library for loop, the collection should be in the session. So when I am showing this page, I am giving the view only, return customer. This is only view, there is no model. So I should use model and view in order to show the view and also contain the collection of customers. So what I'm going to do in controller, so there are multiple controller files open, confusing, so close others. See, controller annotation means it's MVC project only. Okay, so here instead of having a string which returns view name only, I need to have a model and view here. So what I will do, we have customer API to call all the get all the customers equal to control 1 enter. Now model and view mv dot set view name customer. Where is the add object of key value pair? Customers is the name, customers is the object name. Now instead of returning a view name, we are going to return model and view. Any doubts? So it's not only showing the customer.jsp, it also have a array list of customers. Now go to JSP file, use that customers in C:* for each. Variable name is customer short form, items equal to expression customers. What is this customers? In model and view, we have customers. This customers is nothing but this one, isn't it? The model customers is there, so we are able to use it here. Now use tr and display in td. First we display c.id, name, phone, email. Then restart this project, MVC alone. And refresh. Now can you see the existing customers are coming here? Now if you click add button or any of these buttons, it go to controller and come back as only view, not model and view. So every method should be returning model and view. All right. So what we will do, we will remove this, return, call this home method, and that is going to return model and view. This is what we will do, because this code we can reuse now. Okay, every time you add, you go back to the same page, but you have to go with the model also, not only the view. So return, call the home method, that will return the model and view. Now restart the MVC application. This time we are going to check adding, updating, and see what happened. Okay, I'm going to add Naman phone number, naman@gmail.com. I'm going to add. So what happens when I click add? It goes to add and come back and show you Naman. It looks like refreshing, right? Update also will work, but if you select, it should be populated. If it should be populated means we should not use normal form, normal HTML text box. We should use Spring forms. So what is the JSTL we need to add for Spring forms? Go to softwares folder, Spring form, right? Go to in pom.xml. I don't think we need to add anything. We just have to go to the web app JSP. You can take this library. Okay, if you remember, you can easily type it. It's not very big deal. springframework.org/tag/form. So I'm going to JSP file and add tag library for spring forms. Prefix is form, so we need to use form:form, form:form, and we need to have a model attribute is equal to customer. Similarly, the end tag also should be form. First thing. Second thing, it should be input form:input path equal to name and all is no use. Path equal to ID. That's what important. Other things, no problem. It can remain available, no problem. But path is mandatory. Form:input path equal to phone. Form:input path equal to email. Correct only, no? Submit button and all HTML only. Now here we are using model attribute, means in controller also we are supposed to use model attribute, right? Model attribute of customer. This spelling matches with the model attribute spelling. Understand that? Now coming back to this one. Model attribute customer. Model attribute of customer. Now, once we have done some changes, it's good to restart and verify. Check the URL. This is the correct URL. It is taking some time to update, or there may be some error. So go there and read this. Can you see that? Plain target object, at least first time when you show the form, when you show JSP page, there is no customer object available. So model attribute is not there. So go to the controller in home. We need to add an object called mv.addObject of key value customer. Plain object. I'm creating a new customer. That means when I show this page first time, the form is mapped to a customer object which is blank. This is that object. And this spelling should match with this spelling. So that's why I run this program at this point of time. Every stage, if you run and verify and proceed, you will be able to handle it easy. All together, if you do know, it will be difficult. Now go and refresh the window. The plain target object is there, no? That object is blank, blank, we are seeing blank. If you have some values here, okay, constructor with ID, name, phone number, some values, those values will be displayed here. You can consider it as a default value also. Now I'm going to check if add is working or not. So I'm going to add Anirudh 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anirudh at yahoo.com. So it's working absolutely fine. Now we are going to put select button here, because we in CRUD operation we have done get all is done, post put delete is done. Only get by ID is pending. So go to JSP. In the table, I'm going to introduce one extra column. In that column, we are going to have a select. Select A href equal to select. And I'm sending a value ID is equal to, within double quotes, you can use dollar set bracket, c.id. And I'm going to say select. Now, this select you should be present in the controller. So go to controller and create a method called select. And that should have a get mapping of slash select. And actually we are using question mark here. Question mark id is equal to value, isn't it? Id is equal to value. This is a request parameter. So I'm going to use request param. Name is id. Not path variable. See the difference between path variable and request param. Path variable will come like slash id, slash something. This is question mark key equal to value, means in servlet you learn to request dot get parameter, no? Start request param. Now id is there means I can find out, right? So customer API dot find customer by id. What you get is a customer object. And now listen here, in the home we are giving a blank customer, so text boxes are showing blank. Instead of adding a blank customer, what I am going to do, I am going to create a model and view. Of course view name is same, customer.jsp only, but object I am going to add is customer, not a blank object, the found customer object. For the given id, what is the customer I found, that object I am adding to the model. Now return MV. Okay, now restart MVC project. Always check the URL. This is a home page. I am going to select first one. Again, you see Sivakumar is selected. And after Sivakumar is selected, see the table is blank because we are having only customer object, not customers object, right? So customers object you want ca dot retrieve all customers. I can do it directly. mv dot add object of customers, comma this one. Restart the MVC application. Now I am going to select Naman, and can you see all are available also. Naman is selected also. Dheeraj is selected. Sivakumar, Anirudh. Now you can go and update. You can change the values. Update. You are able to see the updation also. Here it is coming blank, means we have called home. Home is giving a plain object, that's why. You understand the point? So control shift